this month's presentation from the Australasian Light Association, which is really a chapter of the International Light Association. And tonight we've got Angela Kirby with us. And Angela counts among her influences and blessings being adopted into a loving family in country South Australia. Her lifelong quest for an answer to who am I really, who are any of us, has led her into creative pursuits, artwork and art therapy, energy work with light, Reiki, bushflower and pure oil essences, counselling, psychotherapy and writing. Visiting her website, frizkirby.com, will take you into Angela's many healing arts, support services and accomplishments. So that website is frizzkirby.com. So mandalas, which are artistic creations by which many spiritual traditions connect with what is within an individual with the greater cosmos, are Angela's focus today as she takes us on a colourful journey into self. So welcome, Angela. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you. Thanks, Andrew. The reason why Frizz is at the beginning of the website is something that I've never changed, is that at the age of 60, I'm still called Frizz by many people. In Adelaide, more people know me as Angela, but yeah, I still get the nickname from where I was brought up down the southeast, South Australia, the nickname Frizz. So there you go. Just in case you're wondering what that is. Anyway, so I was brought up. I was adopted from Melbourne, actually. So that was it's one place that I've that I haven't really been much. Haven't been there much since I was a young girl. But anyway. So I work at, here in Adelaide I'm just using a cheat sheet here for some notes, working in Adelaide as a therapist, art therapist, transpersonal art therapist and counsellor, and I've been running my own private practice over the last almost 19, 20 years, something like 18, 19, 20 years, something like that. And I see clients here in my clinic as well as online and nationally and internationally. I've been helping people in a wide variety of ways, but I found that I often wondered with the art therapy, especially, how I would transfer that into being how could I transfer that online? And then I was asked to do some work for some people who were actually doing play therapy, and if I could help in getting their hours up and counselling. So that was quite interesting. That so that sort of threw me into the world of working online, and it worked really well. So it was quite easy to transfer working out in art therapy, being here in the clinic, into working online with clients. So tonight, where are we going? I'm going to start here with I think I've got this right. This is the first time I've actually done a webinar like this. So so here we go. So this is a brief glimpse into the world of mandalas. So my introduction to mandalas was quite simply a friend who had a circle with a simple design within a tattoo on his left arm, and I was surprised at how much I loved it. And I felt drawn, to it being a circle. And while I wasn't into tattoos, for some reason this really felt significant, and I was intrigued that there was a deeper meaning to it. Because I really, as I said, I wasn't really into tattoos at that stage. So I had no idea it was a mandala, which is Sanskrit, an ancient Indian language, which loosely means, means circle. So skipping forward a decade, I was studying transpersonal art therapy here in Adelaide, and that's where my love of the circle opened up. And I came to understand the circle, the mandala, at a deeper level. It was introduced as a vehicle of healing, where I went on to learn that Carl Jung, whose career in psychology and psychoanalysis brought the mandala into the West. So he utilised the mandala with clients and in his own personal journey, and he did a mandala daily and he felt that whatever was placed within a circle, or that feeling compelled to draw in a circle and draw or paint whatever is within that circle, that our inner world was attempting to assuage the heal our inner emotional self. He was, he tracked daily as his psychological world through the mandala for a period of about a year. I mean, he did them more than that, but he did it specifically over a year. I wonder how I can shrink this thing on the side. Oh, there we go. That was easy. So hopefully you can still hear me and hear me. Sorry. So whatever relates to using mixed, you can, the whatever that I was referring to in there within a circle, not just painting or drawing, relates to using mixed media to express within a circle, not just drawing it. Like I've done quite a lot of mandalas where we've used sand, a variety of tools and natural things as a way of expressing what's ready to be expressed. So meditation, and flowing in colour layers as your heart, not your head, suggests. And it's important here that we can spend a lot of time in our head and not getting caught up in our in that ego aspect, and allowing ourselves to go into the deeper, into the feelings that are within us and allowing them to be there. So I've got an error here. So this will be going for an hour, and I'm doing the intro, which is what I'm doing right now, and following with a short meditation, and then we will endeavour to draw with your hand and your heart, as opposed to utilising your head. This is only a small amount of information here, but it is a start for you to either continue onto or leave behind the world of mandalas. So it is wide and varied, and this is my journey with them that I'm sharing with you briefly. Yeah, so as I came across the circle, found it briefly, as I was saying earlier, and then it wasn't until ages later that I then was taken on the journey, or was introduced to it much deeper. And I still consider myself only at the surface in knowing at deeper levels, as opposed to being in the head, the meanings of mandalas. So then the symbols behind them. It is a journey. So after this presentation, I will ask you that you get yourself comfortable, and I will take you on a short guided meditation with your eyes are closed. You might relax easily and flow with the meditation and are able to visualize what I'm sharing. Each of us are individual in how we perceive as we meditate. So if you feel any fear or frustration come to the surface, place your hand on your heart or your belly and simply breathe in and out. It will shift. And feel your feet firmly on the ground is another thing. We learn to be the observer over time, allowing whatever comes to be there as the moments of joy and calmness. So as with the moments of joy and calmness. So our body will inform us if we choose to listen, allow any resistance to be there. It will shift. So it's quite interesting what can happen when we start to do our drawing, or we can sit there and think, well, and this is a big piece of paper that's very white, and what do I need to do? And I don't know if I can actually do this, but just breathe deeply. Our sense of that inner child can be quite frightened at times. So allow that to be there. It's okay. So the circle of healing, the road that I've travelled down with mandalas has been partly for my own personal use, in that I use the circle to express what's not able to be voiced, that in turn sorts any concern or issue out. The mandalas I draw professionally are considered for us, the collective, as a healing tool. This series I will show you soon 3 examples that I began in 2007. These mandalas are also an oracle. You, the inquirer, consult the series, and the one chosen, more than one can be chosen at a time, is what assists the question being asked. It's not. It's better not to ask yes or no questions, but more a considered question that then answered, giving guidance related to the situation. So, and we can get into some oracle abuse, is what it might be called. So it's just settling in, how can I ask the question here and get an answer that I feel that really settles in on what I'm seeking. So I would choose one on behalf of the group later and see how you can relate to that. This may not be to everybody. But I haven't actually got an oracle deck. I've actually, at this stage, that will happen at some stage because the series is actually ongoing. And in my book, there's only 54, or not only, but there's 54, that's quite a lot. There's 54 mandalas. So I do what's called bibliomancy. So I'll open randomly at a page with the intention of what is it that collectively this group that we're working with tonight, what would be great for them to hear. All right, that would be helpful maybe. So each mandala that I draw, I'm guided intuitively rather than planned when I draw out, like I would have with my other artwork that I've either painted or drawn in the past. They usually were thumbnail sketches, and knowing the subject, by the time I got to the canvas or the paper, I knew basically what I was going to do. Whereas these, I wait to be invited. All right. So, but that's another long conversation. I've literally drawn hundreds of mandalas, and currently I'm working on number 64 from this series that I began, as mentioned, in 2007. So next we look at a few examples of circles naturally occurring in nature and man-made. So these are also books before we start, but on those pictures that I've been inspired by. There's a lot of books available, okay, but these are just 3 books that I have been inspired by. So there's several books available and that I've utilised over the years if you're looking for more information, but really this is the tip of the iceberg. Today is a glimpse, and possibly that it might inspire you in some way. Here are 4 that you can check out if suits. So Suzanne Fincher, creating mandalas for insight, healing and self-expression. Number 2 is Bailey Cunningham, Mandala Journey to the Centre, where I've taken the pics from, used here, some of the pics. And Judith Cornell, PhD, Mandala, Luminous Symbols for Healing. And there's several other books that I've got, but these are 3 great books. And then there's my book, Creating Wisdom and Magic in Life and Love, which is this book here. So I need a drink of water, just excuse me for a moment. Okay, so next. So this is looking at mandalas naturally occurring in nature. So this is the center of a shell. So and we can you can take from what these pictures whatever you like, but these are just how they occur naturally. So rings around the sun or the moon, portending rain or snow. I could actually talk to you for hours about mandalas. There's a lot to learn. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, quite interesting how they occur. The drop in the water and the natural mandala that it's causing there, or circles. And an apple core, or the center of slicing an apple, not the core, but the center of the apple being sliced. And sound healing, the high vibration. I don't know whether you might have seen somewhere along the line where there's sand that's just sitting randomly on top of a I think it was canvas, and then it starts it's to be vibrated, and then starts naturally create these circular shapes. It's fascinating watching them. So, and then we've got the snowflake, and then we've got, of course, the center of a rose. I've actually got some beautiful roses here this evening that I was given actually over the last couple of days. I'm not sure whether you can see them. So I just love a rose. Then we've got a sunflower. I think that's a sunflower. And then we've got going to the man-made circle. So a medicine wheel initially is utilized by, Native Americans. Powerful things to do. Labyrinths, but also the Tibetan monks. I don't know whether any of you have seen or had the benefit of seeing these amazing monks do this work. And after all the work they've done, they actually then, the law is allowing the detachment to happen. They spend days doing them, and then they move them on. So it's a spiritual ceremony using crushed Himalayan stone that is dyed and funneled onto the design. So it's a really powerful process. Beautiful. And I've actually had some of the sand, and I kept it for a long time. And then I thought, well, maybe I need to let go of it as well, and instead of hanging on to it. So I did. And there we go. So circles within the cathedral. And this one in particular was made to bring in more light within the church. And then we're going into now some of my my work, and this one was more what I'd call a sit down, and I need to work through something that's going on in my mind or feelings, want to shape shift something or move along with something. So this is one example of that. And then this was created after a guided meditation that I was in Brazil. A mandala created as a part of a healing project that I was in. And this is an example of a drawing where something figurative quite often show up. It was what began as an abstract drawing opened up, and then an angel began to appear. So I didn't set out to draw it. It just started to go into that shape. It's quite interesting what happens. But, you know, it's just hours and hours and hours and years of drawing that you start to go into different states, altered states, and allow the mystical experiences to wander, to usher in. This is an example of one of the 54 mandalas that I've done in the series of 64, or I've just started number 64. So this is winter. So just a snippet of what the oracle is. It's a hibernation as the undercurrents within make necessary changes through allowing rather than forcing opportunities through self-trusting unfolds. This was a really interesting time in my life when I did this, but I won't go into that now because we won't have enough time. So then we go on to this one. It's number 53. So facing our fears as we raise our levels of consciousness, it may be easy to ignore and continue acting out on that which doesn't serve. But through stillness and calm, inner knowledge reveals next steps to take. Are you listening? So this is quite a dynamic piece, and you can see all the faces around the outside or the outer part of the circle. One that started off as a picture of the side view of myself, and then I just kept drawing them in various stages of the being. It's interesting. So anyway, Ascension number 63. So this was the last one that I'd finished, and this one I did within a fairly short, over a period of 2-3 couple of months. Didn't take long at all, whereas the one that I've been doing since then has taken quite some time, and I still am very much at the beginning. At Ascension, renewed and fresh within new horizons, it would appear simple in transition. Living authentically, however, takes courage. Being you is the way. So there you go. And then meditation and flowing into colour layers as your heart, not your head, suggests. So once we've completed the meditation, you can either write a few words down that you feel relevant and that you would like to capture for your own record. Then begin to draw with the pastels. It is what colours you feel drawn to use, even if they are colours your ego might not, might be repelled from. So you may have feelings where you don't wish to partake. Fear is coming up, as I was alluding to before. To the surface, allow that to be there. You might feel frustrated and not able to draw what you want to, or you might feel peaceful and calm and content. Just roll with what's happening. So we're moving from the ego state to deeper states of consciousness in the letting go, and the letting go can feel disconcerting, it's frustrating and intimidating. I would see this as a great thing rather than the opposite, and you're facing you, and while most of our lives are about the external, we are traveling inward, and that at first can, be thrilling and frightening at the same time. So just roll with it. Breathe, okay? So observe and breathe deeply. So make sure you have all the materials, because we're about to begin. What I haven't said is you would need a circle. So if you've got your piece of paper, if you've got like what do I use? I'll just get up and show you. I've got something like a lid, whatever circle you've got. Or you can actually just draw it by hand, okay? So make sure you have all the materials, and so that you can go straight into writing and drawing once we have finished the meditation. You will have the paper to draw on, the chalk, the pastels, the chalk pastels when they're messy, but, you know, it's easily to clean up later on. You need a pencil and paper to write on if you feel the need to jot down some words. So you need the circle, as I said, and you draw that in the middle of the paper. You can do that now, or as I said, you can crudely draw the circle. This is not about being perfect, okay? So right now you might want to take a big deep breath in and let it out, and just write down a word that reflects your current state of being. Okay, so just for the moment, just take a big deep breath in and let it go. And what is a word that reflects your current state of being? And remember, when you are drawing, you are connecting with the colours that you feel attracted to in the moment, which may just be colours or a colour that you usually but are not attracted to it at all, as I was mentioning before. So this isn't an art class on how to draw. Move the colours chosen around, build up the layers, rub your fingers in it if you like. Trust the process, okay? So let's not get into right or wrong, or that I did or didn't say, or whatever. This is an exploration of going within you. All right, so where are we up to? Okay, so I'm just looking at the time. So, all right, so finding that you've got some paper, you've drawn a circle in the paper. I'm going to guess that you have done that. And now begin to get yourself comfortable and uncross your legs if they're crossed. And begin to now take a big deep breath in and out and closing your eyes. You can keep them open and focus on something in front of you if you don't want to close your eyes, but not on the screen, of course. Big deep breath in and out, and just relaxing, feel your feet firmly on the ground. And feel yourself now being surrounded in a beautiful golden light of protection. All around you, above and below and through you. And begin now to count as you walk up 3 steps to a doorway. So 1, the first step, 2, and 3. Looking at the doorway in your mind's eye, as you see the handle, notice the handle. Is it plain or is it ornate? It is what it is. Place your hand on the handle and ask yourself the question, what within me shines brightly? Notice what you feel, and you may react in several ways. That's okay. Just be, and then allow yourself to slowly open the door. You are in awe for the beautiful garden before you, and step into this garden. And there's a chair not too far away. It's your chair, and you begin to walk over there. You notice the grass, the flowers, the birds and the trees. And the fresh air is divine. And you arrive at the chair and you sit down and pose the question once again. What within me shines brightly? And now we will sit in silence for a minute or two and keep your eyes closed. Who are you? So within your garden, you stand up and head back through the grass, the beautiful green grass, the flowers, those exquisite, beautiful flowers, and the birds singing their songs, and the trees, those beautiful big trees with a slight breeze that sweeps over your body back to the doorway. You move now through the door, and one last look at this divine garden as you turned around, and are grateful for the space that was held as you asked the question. You may be clear about that question or not, and let that be okay. As you close now the door behind you, and I'll count you through the steps once again as you move back down the stairs. 1, 2, and 3. So taking a big deep breath in and out, and feel yourself in your chair. Feel your feet on the ground, and that you're in the golden light of protection dissipates now. As you take another big deep breath in and just wriggle your fingers and your toes and begin to open your eyes. And you can now begin to write a sentence or two. I wouldn't get caught up too much at this stage in writing. You can do that later on. About what you've discovered, and begin to draw, and then begin to draw as just begin to choose the colours that you need to. So I will keep an eye on the time. So let go of an outcome. Just allow yourself to spread the colour around the paper. Okay, so what shines brightly in me? Who are you? So we've got another 5 minutes at least. So take your time. Building up the layers. And if you feel compelled to write anything down that's coming up, you can do that too. You might not necessarily remember that later, so it's sometimes good to jot down whatever comes up. Sometimes we might feel a bit stuck or that it's finished, to sit back and ponder for a moment and then dive back in and do more. Never really, art pieces are never really complete or finished. They, as Picasso would say, stop at an interesting place. This is more expressing what's happening within you. What within you shines brightly? What does that little girl or that little boy within you feel? So we'll go for a couple of more minutes. I can't actually see anybody or what you're doing, so I'm doing a bit of a guesstimate here. We could actually spend quite a long time drawing. When I do workshops, they can go over a day doing 4 processes that run over a couple of hours each, or an hour and a half each. So this is a really short time to be doing this work, which is neither good or bad, it just is. And then going back to that original word or that that you wrote down, you might write down another word now that that comes to your heart. So just know too that you can continue on this drawing later on, although a captured moment for this evening might be all that's needed. to express what was asked. So if you feel your feet on the ground and begin to, you might have, I was going to say clay, pastels all over your hands. It's okay, you get to wash your hands in a while. So what I might do now, if anybody could let me know that they're around, because all the screens are blank, so I can't see anybody, just so that I can tune in to watch as you, thanks, Lynn, to see how you're going. So what I'll do is, as you're just sort of contemplating and looking at your work, I'm going to, on behalf of the group, open randomly at a page what I feel is relevant from this book, my book. What is it that we as a collective in this group could do with hearing this evening, all right, in relation to what we've done. So interesting. Bliss. Now, you'd have to go to my website to be able to see that one properly. The meanings of the oracles actually aren't on the website, but if you go to the website and you look up art and mandala in life, you will actually see it. This one is number 42, so which is bliss. All right, so I'll read out what it says, and it says, bliss surrounds you while your world is changing rapidly from one stage to the next. This time is sacred and must be travelled solo. Only you can set your feet directly upon this world, unravelling and releasing what was once was and can no longer be. Almost staccato-like in movement, rapid and upbeat in time, you bring forward what is to be healed. So you may initially seek answers from others, only to find you walk away frustrated and confused from their efforts in giving you suggestions and fix-me-up solutions. The wounded child within you may be seeking from a sense of unhealed codependence. It is a time to calm that neediness and settle it down. Your inner child requires reassurance and some fun so he or she feels safe. This time is for you as the fully functioning adult within your inner child intact, not rocking the boat. With this realization, you seek guidance from within, which is what we've been doing tonight. Through meditation, insights arrive randomly, unfolding the synchronicities of your life. For in a moment, you forgot that you are connected to a higher source where answers arrive when they are meant and not necessarily when you want. So give yourself a big hug. So I hope that might show some insights or have some relevance to you at this particular point in time. I'm not sure. So if you would like to now share your experience and we can open up to some questions and, and see what your thoughts are and how you found this experience.
Absolutely. You can take the floor if you have a question or want to share something, or you can put it in the comments and I can ask it.
I might go first. This is my picture.
Hi, Rosemary.
Hi. So I used a plate to draw my circle, and then I started. I'm a grandmother, and I just feel such love for my grandchildren at the moment. So I wrote their names around the circle and little music notes and sharing with them, and I feel like I shine from my heart. And I'm here to guide my grandchildren, and I feel like all my life experiences up to now has given me all the right tools to be there for them. And my word was peace and balance. And my daughter's sitting next to me, but she doesn't want to be on the screen.
Okay, that's good. That's good that she's shared. Did she do the meditation as well?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Oh, that's good. So how are you feeling? You did say, but...
I feel very peaceful. Yeah, it was different. That I was going to be sitting and listening to a talk tonight. It was cool doing a workshop.
Yeah. Look, it's a little mini workshop. Yeah, great. Well, thank you for sharing. That's great. And it was hi to your daughter.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So somebody else would like to share? Lynn, how did you go?
It was great. Well, I came up with, that I'm content, very content with my life, but in great connection. And everything in my funny picture was simply all the things in my life that connect the one to the other and have connected me to where I am now. And including my words, I was writing them in 4 different languages. No, I thought it was fun. I was okay
good.
to make my funny squiggles.
Yeah. So how are you feeling now?
Absolutely blissful, which is what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Well, supposed to be. That's interesting. But what about you?
No, absolutely blissful. Yes.
Yeah, that's good. Good. Okay, thank you. So, Andrew.
Yes. I did it, but I didn't have color. I only had a pencil.
That's all right. Doesn't matter.
I sort of come up with this picture, and but I would have drawn it in yellow. Yellow was coming to me a lot in it.
Yeah.
But initially, the first word that came to me was panic, actually, which was interesting. There's been a lot going on in my life recently, and but then it was moving to peace and centering and grounding and joy.
Yeah, great. Yeah, it's interesting when it could be in our head, and then once we start doing a meditation and we start to allow ourselves to drop into the feelings and not making those wrong, not pushing them away, we can move through them. And even if you're it's not about to voice, it's like that back and forth and round movement starts to assuage, starts to soothe and calm that panic, or that can happen, that is start to drop out of that. Yeah. So, any time, that's what I suggest, is to have a place in your house, if it's possible, that's ready to go, that you can just walk in and just sit down and do some drawing. So rather than racing out the door and, taking the chaos that's going on inside of us out with us, we can just sit down for a couple of minutes and just do some drawing, whatever that consists of, and it helps you to drop out of the that sort of that sense of in the head and the chaos that might be going on. Yeah. So and also another thing, just before the other two share, if hopefully that you do, is that it's important to put your drawing, no matter what you think it is at this point, put it up on the wall somewhere, not in the lounge room for everybody to see, unless you're fairly thick-skinned, because it's not until other people start maybe making a comment that you realise that it can feel as if you're being bruised in a way, without using any harsh words type thing. So it's because you've drawn your prescription, your inner world. Instead of going to the doctor for a script, you've drawn your script, and now your mind's eye, your inner world, is being expressed in front of you, and it's there to be seen. Some pieces you want to rip up and put away straight away and burn or whatever, and other pieces can be put up around the house for for a long time. I have certain drawings that I have been up in this house for years, a long time. They're very soothing and calming, and they mean a lot. And this might be just this very basic drawing. Okay, so who would like to share next?
I don't necessarily want to share, but I will.
Great, thanks, Kay.
I'm not an artist's left elbow. I'm a stick person.
Yeah, good. That's
person.
Great. I think that's a good thing.
But,
that's a good thing.
I don't know whether you can see that.
Yeah, beautiful. Excellent. That's a great share. Thank you.
I have no idea where that came from, but yeah, I'm still at work at the moment, so I've got a pin board, in my office, so it can sit up there and contemplate and see what progresses. But I've just put in the comments text, text, whatever, written. The description of Bliss 43 just fits my world almost perfectly at the moment. So quite ironical. Thank you.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's really good. And it takes courage to share, you know, and that artist thing, of being an artist or not being an artist, it resides in all of us. You know, it's quite an interesting dynamic. But everything's a shape and a color or whatever it is, and this really frees up a lot after a while. Once you get used to just letting your hand and heart express what needs to be expressed, you start to get used to it, and you go, oh, it's that inner child. You're encouraging that beautiful little girl that resides in you, or the boy that resides in, you know, allowing that to come through and have fun. And it's really interesting, the journey of where this sort of thing can take us.
Just a stray thought. When I was a kid, I always wanted a spirograph, but parents had very little money, and they could never afford one for me. And my husband, we were talking about it 30 odd years ago, and voila, he comes up with a spirograph for me.
Oh, that's great.
It should come out of the cupboard, I guess.
Yeah, well, I always wanted one of those too. I remember a really good friend years ago, when I was a little girl, we were down at Port Macdonald of all places, and she had a spirograph, and I never got a spirograph, you know. Still at 60, I haven't a spirograph. But I so relate to that. It's a great story. Time to get it out. But, you know, you can start to draw. It's so soothing on our souls during the mandalas.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
And thanks to Lynn and Manisha and everyone at ALA/ILA. Much appreciated. Thank you.
No worries. Okay, so now where are we up to next? So who have we got here?
Hi, Angela. It's Nolene.
Yeah. Oh, Nolene, yeah. Hi, Nolene.
Hi. Yeah, thanks for that. The meditation was really lovely, and I felt really at peace with that beautiful garden. But I didn't come out with it with any idea of where I was headed. So I just, as you described, just put colours down and just tried to see what would happen rather than having an idea. So I don't know.
Right. Fantastic. Yeah, great. Yeah, really good.
And the word at the start was curious.
Yeah, good.
And I don't know at the end.
Yeah, well, I don't know is an asset, not a liability. Seriously. I coined that phrase a few years ago. We get so caught up in, you know, these so-called results and must, and, you know, whatever it might be. So what are you noticing? What are you feeling?
I think I was feeling a little frustrated with myself, which is just normal for me, because I kind of go, well, you know, I get in my head and I don't know what I'm wanting to express.
Yeah. And that can take quite a while. I've sat there and watching people experience what I've experienced, even just getting my hand to get up and pick the pencil up. You know, even just a slight movement can be terrifying, you know, or frustrating, or, you know, it can go into a real thing to begin with, you know. So you have to be really gentle with yourself, you know, because there's a part of us that gets so used to escaping and going off and you know, doing other things as opposed to really feeling the feelings. So if you can sit there and really feel the feelings and know and breathe, feel your feet on the ground, you know, and then just start drawing something. It's not about being an artist. You know, we let ourselves off the hook now, and you'd be surprised at what happens. You know, you'd be surprised. So you've done well. You've all done really well. So I really appreciate, you know, you coming along tonight. So now I think there's one more. Was there anybody else who wanted to say anything or share anything? With my book, I wrote it about 3-4 years ago, something like that, and I did the book The Artist Way over 20 years ago, and found that very inspiring in a time of you know, a difficult time in life and whatever. And so I was inspired by that over the years, and have been doing daily writing, what's coined the morning pages. And I remember reading that to begin with, and this person, the author, had written, you know, said she'd been doing it for 10 years. And I thought, geez, I'd like to be able to say that. And now 2 decades later, it's the journaling in the morning, or the writing, just the blah, 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 as opposed to something you would show to a friend. This is not, this is just getting the any madness or any carry on that needs to be expressed on paper, as opposed to, this is just writing, as opposed to blah, 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 or quick fix it stuff from other people. It's really, really helpful. So, but with my book, it gives you a bit of a story on what's going on, what I've experienced in my life. And then there are 12 therapeutic processes using the mandala as the template to be able to do the process that's being asked of you. So there's meditations that are there that are written out, but they are available on my website, and they're for free. So you can download those aside of trying to remember a meditation and then do the work. You can use the meditations on the website to help guide you through a particular process, and then, you know, do the mandala or whatever's and the writing that's asked of you. And then there are the 54 mandalas that you can use on it as a date. You might choose to, you know, open the book as randomly. What is it that I need to know that would be helpful today, as opposed to a yes or no answer? You know, what, you know, moving into this group or moving house or whatever, you know, what do I need to know about this situation? You can pose that question. There are also some small black and white ones at the back that you could use to colour in if you're feeling there's a moment, I just need to do some quick little drawing. That's to help to soothe your inner turmoil as well. And there's some poetry in there that I've written over the years. And there's a whole heap of people at the back that I suggest who are people that have helped me on my healing journey, because like we're in this together, but we're individuals and we've all got, you know, stuff to do and get through in the university of life. So, and we've got to look after ourselves, you know, give ourselves a good time as well as a soothing time, as well as the difficult time that we continue. And the more that we do this work, I feel that we can be more authentically who we are ourselves, and get on and be on the path and feel okay about the path that we're on, trusting where we're going. Okay, so that's it from me. It's, you know,
beautiful.
Hours, but anyway, there you go.
Thanks so much, Angela. I've just got a couple of questions.
Yeah.
One is, as the observer of a mandala, you know, it has an effect directly on us just from seeing it. But is having a physical form create a certain energy?
It would be, well, yeah, of course. The answer would that be yes. And I suppose that's a fairly, I mean, it would be open to your interpretation of what that energetically means to you. You know, some things can feel really, what would the word be? Repelling, and other things are really, really, you feel moments of great bliss. You can take yourself into a mystical state through what you've been drawing. So yeah, they have an energy. They're powerful.
Great. Yeah, it's been a beautiful experience. It was a lovely workshop, if you like, and a beautiful meditation. So thank you so much for that, and I'm sure everyone's appreciative. Is there any workshops coming up soon for you then? Where's the next one?
Well, the next one I've got is here in Adelaide at the Cancer Care Centre. I've been doing them there regularly. I'm yet to actually, and we're already in June, almost July, and ready to do another one here at my residence, well, where I live. So, but it's only a small space. There are opportunities at some stage to get online and do it, but I just haven't had the time to be able to do that. There's stuff sitting in the pipeline.
Absolutely, I know that one.
Yeah, the pipeline, it's there, and I haven't quite got it. Love to be able to do some more work online and have it there, but yeah.
No, thank you so much for sharing with us, and thanks everyone for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again on next month on the ILA/ALA presentation. Right, thanks, Angela.
Yeah, thank you very much. Any questions, you can ask me at any time.